Hello everyone. So today I am going to be looking at finishing up these pearls here. I'm just going to go ahead and put the gray base down for those and for the jewels that are on the sides of this bodice here. I also plan to do some of the lace details up here and just kind of add some more details to the remainder of this. So I've gone ahead and mixed up a basic gray tone, and with something like this, the pattern repeats in each iteration of the embroidery on the bodice. So once I have the idea of how it looks, I can just repeat that. And again, this is just going to be the base gray tone, but without any of the shininess of the pearls. Okay, so I'm going to do that iteration everywhere on the red part of this bodice, and then I'll come back and work on some other areas that I see. This is not going to be exact to the original, but it'll be close enough. This is more just about practicing the techniques to get these jewels than to make it perfect. So within each of these areas, there's a little bit of gold work going on. So again, I'm going to take a small brush, find a small brush here, and we're going to go ahead and do some of the gold work that we see here. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up a gold color. I think I'm going to go with the yellow ochre on this one here. So a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of white to get a semblance of gold tone for this. For something like this, it's all about pattern building. So even if the individual items aren't perfect, or if they're not too impressive, having this kind of building of a pattern makes it look more complicated. So it's not actually a lot of detail work that goes into it. It's just the repeating of the pattern that we're seeing here. Indication that there might be something underneath there. Okay. And I know that looks very bright right now. It's okay. It'll be, we will be toning that down a little bit later. At this point, I want to look at the lacing that's on top. And again, this is a pattern, so I need to look at the design that we're trying to create and see how that works. I'm going to mix up some white and get it workable. And so anytime I'm doing this, I'm looking for landmarks that I see. So I've put a kind of a shaded base down here, and now I'm going to start figuring out where the landmarks are in this pattern that I'm looking at here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some dots just to kind of give me some indications of. All right, so I've got a baseline there, and I also want to put the same dots on the lower edge. So now that I've got that, I'm just going to start constructing. A design. I can put a little dot in between each one of these. Give me a location to intersect with. So I want it to look like a uniform pattern when I'm all done with this. So just give me a base to start with. Okay, so I've got that. And now I need to start adding some design elements to this whole thing. So if I look at the original, we've got this kind of swoop down that connects to the, so every other one's kind of swoops down and connects to the other two around it. Like that. Mine is probably going to be different than the original that we're looking at, but any repeating pattern is going to be fine for this process. All right, I think I'm going to leave the lace like that. It's certainly not the same as the original, but that's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to something else now. In the original, we also have these white stitching along the edges of the pattern here, so I can go ahead and I'll go ahead and apply that now. It's just a little bit. So again, everything is gonna have the same reflection in the same directions. pearls will all have this little reflection here. So all of that will be corrected a little bit better a little bit later on, but that just gives us a start to work with. So on here, I got these very light lacy effects here. So again, I've put this kind of like gray tone down to give it a background, but then I can go on top of that and put these fold highlights. And anytime that you have something like this, you can also give it a little bit of blur to soften some of the edges. So if you find that your edges are too hard, you can always go back and just kind of ease them up a little bit. All right, I'm going to stop on this one for today. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.